Hi, I'm astrologer and life coach Penny Dix. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and a very big welcome if you're born under the sign of Cancer, because this 2024 ultimate overview for the astrology of everything that is going to happen, well, most of the things that are going to happen in 2024 is for Sun in Cancer, rising sign in Cancer, also known as the ascendant, or for the moon in Cancer. So, Cancer, how are you? Because I'm just thinking about the fact that you've had Pluto, my big small dwarf planet, the planet of transformation, the planet of beginnings and endings, in the sign of Capricorn, which is your opposite sign, which is your 7th house of significant close relationships. Now, you've had this planet there for approximately 16, 17, 18 years. You will have seen your relationships going through a lot of transformation. Some will have ended, new ones will have come in, and they will have transformed. And you will have transformed in the way that you relate, not just to anyone in particular, but to people in general. You will have found that you have changed significantly. So why do I mention that now? Well, I'll come to that in a minute, because first of all, I want to talk about the fact that Mercury, our planet of communication, has been retrograde in Capricorn since the 13th of December 2023. And finally, it moves direct in the sign of Sagittarius. And this is your 6th house. And it's on the 2nd of January. So what do we make about this? Because this is like a really wonderful introduction to the new year. New year, new you. Why not? Because I think you might have found over Christmas and New Year, things got delayed, people weren't available, or people weren't well because of all the seasonal ailments. And so it might have been a bit difficult for your plans to have gone smoothly over the Christmas season. Well, the fact that Mercury moves direct on the 2nd of January is just a wonderful introduction to the new year. Now, your 6th house is your daily routine, but it's also how you care for others, because it's seen as service to others. So there may have been a reluctance on your part to keep doing what you always have to do, to be the one that sorts everything out, to be the one that holds everything together when everyone else is just falling apart. And that's been, I think, quite challenging for you, Cancer. But let's now move on to the main event of January 2024. And this is January 21st, because this is the day that transformational, empowering planet Pluto moves into Aquarius. And this, of course, is your 8th house. And this is the part of your chart that is to do with joint finance, pensions, investments, anything of that nature, house sales, property sales, just making sure that you've got all your particular books balanced. Now, remember, it is going to be dipping in and out of Aquarius for a little bit longer before it finally takes up residence later in the year in November. But when it moves in on the 21st, it's joined by the Sun. I think this is rather beautiful. So the Sun in Aquarius on January the 21st is absolutely conjunct Pluto. And the Sun, remember, is our kind of life giver. It's our heart. It's the beating heart of the solar system. It's the, without the light and the warmth of the Sun, I mean, I'm telling you what you already know. None of us would be here. But sometimes we take things like this for granted. And sometimes Cancer, as a very maternal and motherly kind of energy, an archetype, whether you're masculine or feminine, you will still have that archetype attached to you. You can find that you're too often taken for granted in the role of mother. The Sun conjunct Pluto is saying that's going to change, because you are going to take some of that power from Pluto, inject it into yourself, and hold it within to help you manifest your best life this year. So I'm going to continue talking about Mercury because I'm missing out February and March, because even though things happen, new moons, full moons, there's a lunar eclipse, there's stuff going on. But what I want to talk about is April, because April is a very important month. First of all, I'm going to talk about Mercury again, our planet of communication, because it goes retrograde in Aries. Now, this is your 10th house of career, of your soul path, of your passion. Remember, if you're retired, it's what you choose to do to enjoy your retirement. And Mercury is going retrograde here, giving you a chance to relook at, review, readdress, renew contracts, perhaps, as it's the 10th house. It's going retrograde on the 1st of April, which I think is quite funny because, of course, it's April Fool's Day. But I don't think there'll be anything funny about this Mercury retrograde for you. I think it might actually be very beneficial and give you a chance to catch up on some paperwork that has been overlooked due to the pressure, the enormous pressure you have found yourself under, Cancer. The next thing we need to talk about, also in the 10th house, Aries, is on the 8th of April, we have a new moon total solar eclipse in Aries. This is big and this is important. And I will, of course, do a separate video about this nearer the time. But this is big because this is, eclipses traditionally bring change. It's a new moon. So it's a change. It's about something that has been holding on, that really has gone past. You can't keep dragging it with you. It needs to go. And remember, this is your 10th house of career or passion. So what do you need to let go of so the new can come in? I will talk more about that in April when we get there. But just for you to know, this eclipse will be visible over most parts of Western Europe and of North America and of the northern part of South America. So it is going to be very visible in the northern hemisphere. Therefore, it's going to be very significant, especially on the world stage for the United States of America. And while I'm mentioning that, if you haven't already seen my ultimate overview for the astrology for 2024, then check it out. It's on my YouTube channel because it will give you a lot of information about the what we can expect more on a kind of world stage and with the economy of the time, and how we are going to have to navigate these kind of oceans that are, I described them as a little bit like going round Cape Horn, where you have two mighty oceans meeting, and you know, which one can kind of win over the other. So check that out. Now we have another very important conjunction, and this is in Taurus in your 11th house of hopes and wishes. And this is on the 20th of April. This is important because it's about Jupiter and Uranus, my big outer boys. You've got Jupiter, the planet of luck and opportunity, expansion, conjunct Uranus, the planet of the unexpected, the planet of invention, the planet of freedom, the planet of rebellion. Jupiter is also about spirituality. Taurus is very earthed and grounded. So it would be unusual for a Taurian to be aspiring to kind of more higher energy waves or frequencies or higher consciousness. But you, Cancer, you're a water sign. Your ruler is the moon. So you have a deeply intuitive side to you. And I want to suggest that this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction for you could be quite spiritually enlightening. I think also it's going to help you launch in quite unexpected ways plans and ideas you've had boiling away or simmering away on a back burner for not just many months, but many years. I think this year could be, I could almost say it could be your year, Cancer. And then I think you'd say about time too. We also need to look at what happens on the 25th of May, because Jupiter, excuse me, will enter Gemini. Now, Gemini is your 12th house, and Gemini is all about communication. This is how you deal with the inner you, with your soul, your psyche, that intuitive side of your nature. Jupiter coming into this part of your chart, I think, is going to have your spiritual and psychological brain kind of going like this, like downloads of information just going back and forwards, as if your mind is expanding as you suddenly have a whole load of kind of amazing aha awareness moments and some incredible spiritual experiences that you just can't explain. So that for a cardinal sign that is all about action and energy, you will find this slows you down a bit, and at times you might feel a little bit overwhelmed by some of the feelings you might have with Jupiter in this part of your chart. And it's going to be here for just over a year. Now, I just want to pop in a quick advert, which is if you would like to have a one-to-one astrological reading with me to look at your natal chart and the transits and ask whatever questions you want to ask, why not visit my website? And you can email me in the old-fashioned way. I'm a bit of a dinosaur with all these things, penny@pennydix.com. And we have a little chat and decide when the best time will be for both of us, because Often I'm working with people where we have enormously different time zones. So just to give you an idea, I'm in Central European time. Therefore, I'm 6 hours ahead of the East Coast of America, of New York. So that gives you something to just gauge it by. But, you know, and then the payment is, again, very old-fashioned. I send you a PayPal request, all very easy. You don't have to have a PayPal account. And then we do the session via Skype, good old-fashioned Skype. I'm really enjoying Skype, and it is so super simple to use. I really didn't get on very well with Zoom, I'm afraid. I hope I'm not treading on anyone's toes. Anyway, let's get back to your chart. Advert over. So I want to talk about a date in July which you really do need to be super aware of. July the 15th. Because there's going to be a conjunction between Mars, our planet of energy, action, assertion, war, fighting, aggression, and sexuality, is going to be conjunct Uranus, the planet of the unexpected, of shocks. Now remember, this is your 11th house Taurus. Be mindful that day. Be careful when you're driving, if you drive. Try not to rise to the bait in any discussions that seem to be getting heated. Try and take a step back or respond and not react, because this really is a clashing of cosmological planetary energies that could be quite damaging and break something that you don't necessarily want broken. So just be aware of that. Now we're going to skip on to September, because obviously, well, the summer will come and go with some new moons and full moons, and, you know, then we'll get to the harvest moons, and we'll have the summer solstice. You know, there will be periods of time in 2024 which we can take, or where we can take our foot off the accelerator and just live life a bit, because we're all going to have to be getting used to these planetary energies shifting signs. Jupiter into Gemini, and of course Pluto going back and forwards between Capricorn, your opposite sign, and Aquarius. Now, by the 2nd of September, Pluto is in Capricorn. So it's back in your house of significant relationships. It's a bit like it's giving you a final opportunity to transform perhaps one significant relationship. It can be friendships, it can be business partnerships. It's almost like Pluto's going back to just have a look round and say, do you need me for anything else, or are we good here? Can I move on? And then we have, on the 17th of September, we have a full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces, which will be in your 9th house of higher education. This is also the house of travel. You might find a journey you have had planned gets cancelled, or there are delays. There is something around travel at this time, especially if it's overseas, where things will get delayed. So just be mindful of that. And you might also find that you want to pick up where you left off with perhaps a subject you're fond of and you want to learn more about. So let's move forward to the 2nd of October, because we have a solar eclipse in Libra, and this is in your 4th house. Now, the 4th house is your home, your family, your ancestry, your ancestral roots and DNA. And it's a solar eclipse, which means it's a new moon in Libra. So there may be some changes you want to make within your current residence and try and make it a little bit more harmonious and balanced. And the solar eclipse is saying, wait just a little bit longer. Wait until the timing is a bit better. Because what it's saying is wait till Pluto goes direct in Capricorn in your 7th house of significant relationships on the 11th of October. So perhaps you have the approval of one of your beloveds before you start moving furniture, rehanging paintings, or whatever it is you're deciding to do. And so Pluto finally goes direct, and this time it is leaving Capricorn. So this again is big news, because the next thing I have written down is about the 19th of November. Put that on your calendar, because every astrologer on YouTube is going to be publishing lives, videos, all about Pluto, our planet of transformation, our planet of personal empowerment, beginnings, endings, finally moving into Aquarius, the sign of higher consciousness, the sign of higher frequency, the sign of freedom. Are we going to see some interesting developments on the world stage with regard to the to the war-torn areas, if we still have them this time next year, or on the political stage? It'll be interesting to see what unfolds around this move of Pluto into Aquarius. Now, it's your 8th house. And remember, this is other people's money, joint finance, pensions, investments. It's also transformation and endings, beginnings. Someone might get married in your family. You might get married. Someone might get divorced. Someone might move in with the other. Someone might have a baby. There can be all sorts of things that can come under the energy of Pluto in the 8th. Now, Pluto is going to be here for 20 years. So you really have to allow Pluto to kind of bed itself in before you can really see how you can use Pluto's energy and influence in a powerful way. So by the 26th of November, we have another Mercury retrograde. We usually have 3 a year. Sorry, just what happens. But remember, it's a chance to renew, review, relook, redo, have a look over old things, clear out. It's going to be retrograde in Sagittarius in your 6th house. This is from the 26th of November 2024. So this is where you can sort out your daily routine and really get it into some kind of better order, some kind of order that you really do feel a little bit more comfortable with. We've also got another retrograde starting towards the end of the year, because on the 6th of December, Mars, our planet of energy, action, assertion, sexuality, goes retrograde in Leo, in your 2nd house of finance. And this is on the 6th of December. This is going to curb your expenditure over the Christmas period. It could be that you are being given a chance by Mars to not be too bullish in your accruements, in your investments, in your purchases, in your luxury goods. And it really is encouraging you to be mindful of how you spend your money. Also, this is something about how you value you. And sometimes, Cancer, you retrieve or you retreat into your shell. And, you know, the rest of us like to see you. We like you, Cancer. We want to get to know you. And this Mars retrograde in Leo might see you kind of being a little bit shy and hiding your light under a bushel. Come on, you need to shine. Because Mars isn't going direct in your first house, because it's going to move back into your first house until the 24th of February, 2025. So when it is in your first house, you've really got to use it to fire up your energy, get your mojo back. If you've been overdoing it, it's time to take time out at the end of 2024. Mercury goes direct in Sagittarius on the 15th of December. So in terms of Mercury, and this will be in your 6th house of your daily routine, that is freed up over Christmas and the New Year. And it may just be with this Mars retrograde, you just overdo it a bit. So I think the advice really, as your friendly astrologer, is to take it easy and take some time out and have a bit of a rest. And maybe have a holiday around this time. We had that lunar eclipse in Pisces in the 9th on the 17th of September. It may be that you don't go away then, but what you should do is book it for over Christmas and New Year 2024. So it's just a thought. So there we go, Cancer. There is your amazing ultimate overview for everything you hopefully need to know. The headlines, the heads ups for 2024. And thank you so much for joining me. And please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you are new to my channel or new to through this video, then I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I would love it if you'd subscribe. And also remember, I do still have on my website, pennydix.com, the downloadable, purchasable, how to read your natal chart for beginners. I am going to be tweaking it and adding a few bits to it in the new year, which will also be downloadable. But there's also the lovely moon calendar that Andrea Britton has done, and that's also available to buy. And it's quite nice to have. You can have it laminated, have it on the wall, because it just gives you all the heads ups about the full moons, the new moons, the quarter moons, where the moon is, what the moon's called. But it's quite good to have that kind of information to hand. So on that note, thank you so much for joining me. I really wish you a blessed, healthy, happy 2024. And I look forward to seeing you again. Bye for now.